My name is Cliff Robinson. I'm 46 years of age. I'm from Franklin Lakes, New Jersey. I'm a former NBA basketball player. I'm extremely competitive. I think I'm have that same level of competitiveness. I came out here to put my best foot forward and to keep the tradition of the professional athlete going strong.
Hey, how's it going, guys? If you don't know me by now, my name is Adam, and I am the director, editor, and co-producer of the Top 100 Greatest Survivors. And I'm going to try to keep this announcement brief because I know you guys all really want to get to episode 9, where we count down numbers 20 through 11. The announcement I have for you guys today is, if you haven't heard, the finale episode of our Top 100 is not going to be next Wednesday. It is going to be next Sunday. It'll be Sunday, September 13th. The finale is going to be on a Sunday, just like the old Survivor finales used to be. That's 2 Sundays from now. So mark it on your calendars now. Sunday, September 13th. The finale is going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a little longer than the normal episodes, but that's because we have a lot of great stuff planned. We have a featured interview for every Survivor, along with the normal collection of interviews and highlights of their Survivor career. Along with that, we have a 3-hour kickoff show that's going to start at 4:30 Eastern time and go all the way till 7:30 Eastern time. And then the finale will follow just 30 minutes later. During the kickoff show, we're going to be partnered with Jonathan Penner. So all of the proceeds that come from this and the finale are going to go towards 3 different ALS charities. There's going to be a lot of survivors coming on live for the kickoff show, which is hosted by myself, as well as the Survivor specialists, Phil and Alexa, and Russell will be joining during the last hour. We're going to have a ton of survivors. Fairplay is going to be there. Kelly Wentworth, Dom, Wendell, Adam Klein, Kathy, Lex. So many great survivors. That's not even a fourth of the survivors coming. You can come on, donate money. They'll give you a shout out. They'll answer your questions, whatever you want. It's going to be really fun. We have trivia. We have games, lots of stuff. So come for the kickoff show. Come for the finale. We also have a live recap show with myself, Russell, and Survivor specialists immediately following the finale episode. During all 3, you can donate, and all the proceeds will be going to 3 different ALS charity foundations. Penner is going to be the one who we're sponsored with for the episode. So mark it on your calendars. Sunday, September 13th. Don't plan anything that day except for coming live on the Russell Hand Show. Thanks so much, and enjoy episode 9.
Previously on the Top 100 Greatest Survivors.
I appreciate it. Jerry went through a bit of a transformation on All Stars.
The Iceman, come on, hide it. Just the way that he controlled the game.
She's a challenge beast. She's just insanely strong.
One that I liked the most because I thought I related the most to him was Wendell.
She is never the threat. She is always someone's buddy.
He goes up against these huge powerhouse players like John Robert, and he took total control, though, of the game. You could make the argument are actually the best player of all time. Chris Doherty is one of those players.
She's never had her torch snuffed. I mean, honestly, that speaks volumes.
I consider to be a great player was Earl Cole.
Colby Donaldson, of course, very athletic, iconic in Australia, the Outback.
And now, the countdown to number 1 continues. The greatest game on television, and these, its most respected players.
Who is your number one?
The number one spot.
Number one spot.
Who deserves to be number one?
It's impossible to pick one that's the greatest survivor of all time.
It's time to celebrate the castaways, the legends.
The number one survivor of all time has to be...
This is the top 100 greatest survivors.
He's a very interesting person, and if you try to explain him to other people who are not Survivor fans or players or know anything about it, it's like this. You could talk for a week and really not even explain what it is. Like, you sort of have to just watch it, you know, but.
I slay everyone and trust no one. This is my chance for redemption. Flying in on the helicopter, you can feel something in the air. There's an electricity, there's a tension, there's a level of excitement that is coursing through everybody's veins, especially mine. And to start off like that, I think sets a great tone for how the season is going to be.
Coach, now dragging Colby. Nice job. Here comes Tom and Russell. Scores for the villains.
Coach was amazing because he added so much fun into the show. He added this whole mythological overlay with these nicknames that he was giving everyone. Of course, he himself was the Dragon Slayer, and then, you know, JT was the Warrior. I mean, I remember when he was coming up with these nicknames, and when he informed us that he was the Dragon Slayer because he was slaying all the dragons. It was just, you know, the way he kind of elevated the game just into this sort of like fantasy epic. He really like kind of, it just made the whole thing more fun to play, because it is ultimately a game. You know, and you know, his, you know, putting himself onto these vision quests or whatever, you know, when he went to Exile Island and, you know, didn't make fire or boil water, and, you know, found a staff that looks like a snake, you know, he just kind of brought some of that fun absurdity into Survivor that, you know, I think it becomes very serious, and it becomes like a grind, and it's like so strategic. And I think Coach kind of represents, you know, at least when I played with him, some of the other fun, the sort of more elemental parts of the game. And of course, he then went on to become a really potent strategist in South Pacific.
Coach he's an icon to the game of Survivor. Anybody that doesn't like Coach personally, guess what? You know Coach. Everyone knows Coach. Everyone knows the Dragon Slayer. That makes him one of the greatest players to ever play the game, and one of the most memorable to ever play.
I've played this game twice. I haven't been successful. This time, I'm trying to control my sense of self-righteousness and judgment on the others. I'm back because this is one more shot for me to prove to everybody that I can own this game and that it can be done with honor and integrity.
The real crossroads of like a good social player. She's like a genuine person. She's an athletic player, and she's strategic. So she's like really a superstorm of everything. And you know, I still consider her a good friend. So.
I was so happy when I woke up today to finally know that I made it to the end. You know, I just kind of like breathed, and in the past 6 months, I've been living in the jungle for 78 days, you know? So I don't think there's much in my life that I can't handle after 2 survivors in a row.
Amanda's like always a bridesmaid, never a bride when it comes to Survivor. Like, she gets to the end and something goes wrong.
She played a loyal, good game.
She's good at just kind of sitting back, letting other people control the narrative, and utilizing her friendships to get her to the end.
I am so happy to be a Fei Long member because I think James and Aaron are definitely two of our strongest members. So I think we're going to be a powerhouse in challenges. Me and Todd made an alliance that we're going to stick it out with each other until the end of this, because even though Todd, I think, is very devious, I've been watching him really closely, and I think we have a good alliance so far, at least till the merge.
Amanda is one of the, I wish I would have played with Amanda longer, and I wish that I would have been part of her alliance, because I seen Amanda started trying to make some moves as soon as we got there in Heroes versus Villains, and she's a beast. I seen it immediately. I knew she was a strategic player. I think Amanda is one of the best female strategic players to ever play the game. I think she should have beat Parvati. Mind blown, I know. I think she should have beat Parvati in that season in Micronesia. When I went to their camp, she's the one that was controlling everything. She was in full control of the game. She's the one that changed the vote. She's the one that did everything. So immediately I'm like, she's something to be dealt with.
I think a lot of my fear of failure and things like that have been minimized because of this experience, and I'm ready to do it now. I'm not afraid of it.
She is so wonderful. I can listen. I swear I haven't seen her in so long. I can hear her sweet voice every morning, just waking up, getting some water. Who wants some water? Like she was such a joy to play with. But then at the end of the day, very strategic.
You know, we're not getting 8 hours sleep. We're not getting, but a handful of food a day. But, this is the game we signed up to play. It's pasty, it tastes like glue. It just, in your mouth, it's just horrible, and I can't eat it. Jerry's gonna take that job over, which I hope doesn't hurt Keith's feelings, that's his area, and it's kind of a slap in the face. It was like a big feeding frenzy. Cal's got beef jerky, and he said, look in his backpack real quick. And I was standing right there, and I did it.
Tina is definitely an old school player, I enjoyed my time with Tina at camp. I enjoyed our conversations. She made it deep. She came back from Redemption Island, which is like that is no small feat. She, through great odds, she made it through quite the cauldron of challenges to get back in the game. And so that I think more than anything is a testament of her strength and her mental toughness. And mad respect.
Laura's face drops. Yeah! Laura becomes the 6th member of the jury. Tina wins her first duel and will rejoin this game in her quest for the $1 million and the title of Sole Survivor.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, honey. I know you wanted it.
We spent the majority of the time, if you remember, on Redemption Island together. And it was just the two of us. And, every 3 days we'd get a third person coming in and we'd beat them and they'd kick them back off. But Tina is a special person. She was 10 years older than me, and that woman was just in shape. She was fierce. She would get up every single day and walk up and down the beach, and every morning and every night, she'd go to the same spot and watch the sunrise and the sunset. And every night, and she just appreciated everything about the game, which I loved because it really made me appreciate it.
What it boils down to is, did I come here for 42 days to starve, to live in the type of environment that I've lived in, to make those type of sacrifices, to give somebody like Elizabeth $1 million? Or did I come here to play this game and me deserve the $1 million?
The winner of Survivor, the Australian Outback.
Come here.
Yeah. So, in your opinion, who should be up there as the #1 greatest survivor?
In my opinion, who should be the #1 greatest survivor ever? Wow. I had to think. I'd pick Johnny Fairplay. I'm the best.
Everyone laughed at all my jokes. I knew going in that was going to be a huge bonus for me because I'm not very strong and I don't profess to be. However, I'm a funny guy.
I'm kind of schizophrenic about Fairplay because we're good friends outside of the game, inside the game. Fascinating character. And thing about Fairplay in the game, very likable, also extremely smart and strategic, great chess player. So he's always 3 or 4 moves ahead. And he's also, despite being likable, he's this highly venomous snake. And he's sociopathic, but in a good way. If you're on Survivor, you want to be a sociopath. And he will cut your throat at the drop of a dime and not think twice about it. And that's kind of the brilliance of Fairplay. And he will just make stuff up to benefit him. And he's successful in that. People believe him.
Final 7.
Oh, dude, that was good. Huh? She died, dude.
John, you went from really happy to really sad.
It was either going to be my buddy or my grandmother coming, and my grandmother's not here for a reason.
What happened?
She's not around. That was a brilliant performance, sir. Like that? Yeah, thank you. Did you like mine? I couldn't cry. I tried. I brought on a couple tears for you. It was sweat. My grandmother's sitting home watching Jerry Springer right now.
Yeah, John and I had an interesting, obviously, relationship out there. Originally getting voted out of the tribe, I can't really fault him for that per se. And then when I went back into the tribe, John and I started working together very closely. It was a perfect odd couple relationship. We were both very strategic thinking, so we could bounce ideas off each other. And then, we really looked after each other, kept each other's backs.
Johnny Fairplay, the tribe has spoken. Time for you to go.
Can I get a hug? You be nice to those guys. Bye, guys.
And then just in terms of like people that you like to watch, I think that Rob Sesternino, I'd love to see him play again.
I don't want to compare myself to anybody. So I'm like, and I really remember watching Rob Sesternino and liking his comments and this and that. And I'm kind of smart alecky like that, but I'm not Rob at all. Like I don't play like him. I don't have that same personality. And so I think I'm like Rob Sesternino, and Jeff was like, Rob Sesternino, you're not nothing like him.
All those who have some questions in this lifetime, I'm donating the Magic 8 Ball. My luxury item was the Magic 8 Ball. The Magic 8 Ball is a really good thing to have out here. Well, one thing that you may or may not know is that it really works.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay.
This is really crazy stuff to be going on. I can't believe I'm back in Jenna and Heidi's good graces. I've made the promise to them that I'm not going to screw them on this. They've made a promise to me they're not going to screw me on this. And let's see what happens.
Did you have a favorite player or someone you wanted to model your game after or look up to? Or did you have a favorite player coming into 18?
I had 3 players that I was really modeling my game after. One was the great Rob Sesternino, who was just amazing at kind of connecting with all of the different isolated people. So what made Rob such a great player was he had relationships with everyone. The guys who nobody else was talking to, like Matt and Butch, Rob was working, as allies.
Rob's influence on Survivor spans far beyond his creating of a strategy that people still use to this day. Rob's podcast has become and is the most talked about aspect of Survivor past the actual show. He has so many fantastic guests on. He's employed an amazing group of hosts with him, and it touches upon all aspects of Survivor. It's hilarious, it's analytical, and I think it only shows how passionate he is for this game and how knowledgeable he is for this game. And I think Rob's best contribution to the Survivor community is creating a Survivor community, and I'm so thankful for that. I crack up on the street listening to The Evolution of Strategy with Josh Wigler. I think everything that Rob has done for Survivor is just amplified with what he's done with Rob as a podcast.
Well, what can I say? 38 days out here in the Amazon. I have honestly no complaints. I wouldn't change one thing about how I played the game. Most tremendous time of my entire life. I said I wasn't going to stop smiling until they put my torch out. And you know what? I'm still smiling.
He's quite the character. He's first of all, he's brilliant. He's always the smartest guy wherever he is. So it's cool to hang around smart people. I think that stuff rubs off, and you know, iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel. It's cool to be around someone that's smarter than you. They'll only bring you up. I have nothing but positive things to say about Yul. He's an amazing person.
One of my, all-time favorites, Yul Kwon. I mean, he just, Yul.
I'm pretty, as Americanized as you can get. At the same time, growing up, there were times where people would make presumptions about me or make fun of me or insult me because of my ethnicity. I remember when I was a kid, every time we put up Christmas lights, kids would come by and smash a Christmas light.
Yul was fascinating to me because he always had such a wealth of information and was extremely good at laying it out analytically and succinctly.
When I got to Extinction Island, I was really struggling with whether I should pull the white flag. So I was thinking, as a father, what is the right thing for me to do? Should I pull the white flag, go home and spend this quality time with my kids that I won't have again for a really long time? On the other hand, I don't want my kids to think I'm a quitter. And I finally decided, you know what, I think I'm going to stick it out. And I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I did. You know that Jonathan, for some reason, seems to inspire some level of mistrust among pretty much everybody. If you talk to anybody, including other people in our alliance, they feel like he's a gamer. He's here to play hard, and people don't fully trust him.
Yul's a brilliant player, and Yul, who is, remarkably fit, you see him and he's this gorgeous specimen, like Ozzy, also, but just, extraordinary person. Yeah, Yul's an extraordinary player and an extraordinary person. Yul is one of my personal heroes. He's helped me and my family, and he's just the loveliest, most self-effacing, loyal person. He loves his wife and his kids, and just is always I didn't feel like I worked hard enough. I wish I could have done more, and I'm like, my God, you've done more than anybody. So he's a very, very special guy. I love you.
The winner of Survivor Cook Islands.
Did you have a favorite Survivor from seasons that came before you, or someone who you just enjoyed watching on TV more than the rest before Blood versus Water?
Yeah, there are a couple guys. I think I was intrigued with, Ozzy's ability to catch fish and live off the land. I liked him, not necessarily his gameplay, but the way he was presented on Survivor. I liked that.
Candace drops out. Ozzy wins the first individual immunity. Ozzy wins immunity. Ozzy wins immunity. Ozzy has it. Challenge over. Ozzy wins immunity. Guaranteed spot in the Final Four. Sandra losing her balance. Sandra is in the water. Ozzy wins the final immunity.
Ozzy is an extraordinary athlete in and out of the water, but especially in the water. I don't know if he grew up on a beach or with a surfboard in his hand, but he always amazed us. He taught me how to fish, you know, and he could stay underwater, it seemed, for 2-3 minutes at a time and always came up with something. And I learned I couldn't stay underwater that long, but, you know, a day with Ozzy and you should be able to figure out how the hell to catch some fish.
Everybody wants to beat me now, and hopefully I can tap into that same kind of energy and will that I had last time.
Ozzy from Survivor Cook Islands. A little less hair, but the same Ozzy.
He's so high up there right now.
10th person voted out of Survivor fans versus favorites, and the second member of our jury, Ozzy. Need to bring me your torch.
Thanks, guys.
Ozzy, job spoken. Time for you to go.
Ozzy is an icon in the show's history. I mean, you cannot talk about Survivor and not mention Ozzy from Cook Islands and later Survivor Micronesia and later South Pacific. He's natural in that environment. That's the thing that makes Ozzy stand out to a lot of people, is how good he is in the survival environment.
People love Ozzy, and I think it's because Ozzy loves Survivor. He's happier playing Survivor than he is in his everyday life. He loves climbing trees. He loves, you know, diving down for clams or spear fishing. He loves living off the land. Everything about Ozzy, like, is Survivor.
I've been the guy that's able to climb coconut trees and hunt fish. I've also been really strong in challenges, but I don't think I've had the best strategy. Go Ozzy! This time I'm more mature and I've learned from my mistakes. I need redemption because I feel like I just haven't been able to lock my hands on the $1 million. I've almost been there a few times. I just haven't been able to finish.
Ozzy is a great player. I feel that, you know, out of all the people that deserve a shot to win, I think Ozzy deserves to win. I know that sounds crazy. I don't think he's the best strategic player, but man, the way that he thrives out there and lives in the wild as the, you know, original Jungle Boy, I think he deserves to win. And so I was kind of sad that we weren't able to play together. Does he have an ego? Yeah, all the great ones do. Is he wants all the challenges to revolve around him? I mean, what did Michael Jordan do when there was 3 seconds left in the game? He didn't say, let's pass the ball to Scottie Pippen. He said, I get the ball. I'm winning this game. So I have to respect that about him. As far as a challenge competitor and just a survivor, he's got 2 out of the 3. And I'd like to see him get another shot. And as long as it's not on the season that I'm in, take home the prize.
Ozzy, need to bring your torch. Sayonara Survivor. Man, I had a good ride. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Third time's a charm, baby.
He is so methodical in everything he does. Like he is 10 steps ahead of everybody, and being a new time player playing with him, I definitely learned a lot of like gameplay from him and how to view the game. One of my all-time favorite quotes from Survivor in general is when Tyson hugged Rachel in our season and all he asked her is, "Did you have fun?"
I've been disappointed by Survivor twice, but this time I actually feel like I'm in a pretty good spot. And then on a game like this, I think that the loved ones aren't going to be prepared and I'm going to slit their throat.
Playing with Tyson was awesome.
He was a great challenge competitor, super loyal. It's cool because I think that this last season 40, you were able to see moments of Tyson's vulnerability. I saw that right off the bat. I saw his genuine heart shine through. And so, you know, I've got nothing but love and respect for Tyson.
I thought it would be pretty badass if I would have worn it for a third time, but tonight's Travels Council is going to be awesome. I'm hoping that Sierra will cry a lot, because I'd like 3 days of just bossing her around and telling her to shut up. Probably won't win me her vote from the jury, but it would probably win me everybody else's vote. He just seems like a sneaky bastard, you know? I can't look him in the eye and believe a word he says. You can look me in my sweet blue eyes all day, and I'll tell you sweet nothings, and you'll believe all of them.
Even in Token Chains, you know, which, you know, where he was an early juror, was just so clearly one of the biggest threats to win in the game, out of the gate. You know, and the reason we had to vote him out was because he was going to win. You know, there was just no question. Because he's a guy who's hilarious. He's also, and I don't think this quite communicates through the screen, just like so kind and loving. And you know, even in Token Chains, where he was sort of portrayed as this villain, he was just nice to people. You know, he would help out the most around camp. You know, he was making fire the most. You know, he was cooking food. So you know, he also was obviously amazing in challenges. And I think even out of the gate, it was clear that Tyson was one of the biggest threats, you know, in the game.
I wasn't paying attention. I don't really care.
Planning on doing, like...
I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you mean?
Nobody does.
Tyson?
I know what she's saying. You want me to explain it?
No, I don't need you to explain it for me, Tyson.
I love seeing people cry when you crush their dreams.
You know, one of the greatest gifts that Tyson has is that he's really adaptable, and so he can look at a situation and he can say, hey, this situation I'm in right now, it's not great. I'm going to jump, or I can look 8 steps ahead and see this situation will eventually lead to my demise. So I'm going to cut it off and pass. And he did that, you know, in our season. So yeah, and he's an incredible athlete. I don't know if people really understand just how good of an athlete Tyson is.
JT's got to pick it up now. Jed, you want to keep going? Yeah, I think I got it, Judge.
I'll come over and do it if you want. You can scramble all you want with
I'm not trying to scramble, Tyson. I'm trying to explain my side so it doesn't look like I was the mastermind behind it.
I don't think you were the mastermind. I don't think you're smart enough for it. Like, really.
Tyson, you be careful, you don't fall off.
Don't boss me around, lady.
I just don't want you to break your pretty little face.
That's true. It is my moneymaker.
I know.
Tyson is, for me, I know everybody gives Tyson a lot of credit. He's a well-liked character. He got really good at it in Winners at War. But when I played with Tyson, it was very easy for me to do what I did to Tyson. Now, that doesn't mean that he's not a great player, but he's supposed to be a poker player and supposed to read situations. Well, I bluffed him. I had 2s, 4 offsuits in my hand of nothing, and that man had a 4 house in his hand, and I made him fold that 4 house, you know, with my 2s. I didn't even have a pair of 2s. I had like a 2-4. So anyway, so yeah, but Tyson, he went back and he won the game.
The winner of Survivor Blood versus Wild, Tyson.
Who would you put up there at the #1 spot?
Adam, I'm going to go with Tom Westman. Absolutely, 100%.
At Karor, Tom emerged as the tribe leader.
Oh, now who's the great white shark killer?
And Bobby John and Stephanie continued to give it their all at the challenges.
Swallow, swallow. Swallow it, Bobby John.
But Oolong continued to come up short.
Tom's got it!
It just seems like Tom beats me every single time.
So one of us goes home, the other one's still here. If that next one's physical,
and the guy who's left wins it, then it's going to be you, and that'll be the payback for flipping.
Tom raises his flag. Tom wins immunity.
Presto, Tom. He was voted out very quickly when he played the second time. Of course he was. You know, they knew he was a huge threat. A social game was strong, but I was really disappointed not to see Tom Westman out on Winners at War for season 40, because I always remembered thinking, what an amazing player, what well-rounded in every way. Because sometimes, Adam, you'll see somebody that's just really strong in challenges, or somebody's got a strong social game that people really like. But he, to me, or a leader, but you might like him a little bit, but be intimidated by that. He was the whole package and got to the end and won. So, Tom Westman.
Ian steps down. Tom wins final immunity.
The winner of Survivor.
So I went through Palau, and obviously watching Palau, I idolized Tom Westman. I was like, that's how I want to play. I want to play with honor and integrity, and I want to see if I can, do what Tom accomplished, maybe further his mission.
Final tribal council is tonight. We won't be back to the speech. This is our last day here, and it's bittersweet. It's been tough here, but it's been the experience of a lifetime, and I think we're going to take this place forward with a little lump in our throat.
If you were making a list of the top 100 greatest survivors, who do you think more than anyone deserves to be number one on that list?
Oh, shit, that's a hard question. I'm like really partial to Kim Spradlin.
So one of my favorite players was Kim.
I really like the physicality of Kim Spradlin, and then also, she was just a boss out there and just, controlled, in season 24, she controlled pretty much what everybody was thinking and what everybody was doing.
Last night that we stuck to our guns a little bit after tribal and didn't run over and jump in the men's shelter. But going over there this morning, I have no shame. I've never been so miserable. I couldn't get my tail over there to that fire fast enough. Nobody really had the girls' idol. And something snapped for me, and I thought, I'm literally going to get up and go find this right now. It's out here somewhere. Thank
Finally. Kim, I'm a huge Kim fan. She's not only a personal friend, she's my best friend, but she's also someone that I've looked up to, and I played Survivor with my first season. And she was also my Alliance member. So I knew that she was going to be super great. When it comes to her second season, I really enjoyed the fact that she was at the bottom the whole time. And working her way back up, having conversations with people is one of her strongest suits. She's a social butterfly. She can look you in the eyes and just tell you the sky's blood red when you know it's blue. So she is like a fierce competitor. She's got competition in her blood. I mean, her dad is a football coach, so she has that in her blood no matter what. She's always wanting and preparing to win.
I feel like I have all these weapons in my belt.
Wins immunity for the third time. Guaranteed a spot in the final four.
Kim has this amazing ability to just look at you, almost look through you and say, yeah, I'm with you.
I definitely feel confident that Kim is 100% loyal to me. No! I got this.
What a joke.
Where's that axe?
Alicia. Kim wins immunity and a guaranteed spot at the final tribal council.
All right, boss lady.
I absolutely loved playing with Kim. We got along so great. We were like two peas in a pod out there. I think had we not gotten split up at DeCall, I probably would have stayed with Kim till the end, which would have been a stupid move on my part because Kim is so likable. And so it was better for me to get split up from her, but I absolutely loved playing with her. She is so kind. I mean, that's how she got so far or played such a dominant first season, and then it's how she made it so far, but then also got voted out because she would have crushed everybody in the end.
The winner of Survivor 1
Go back and look at the history of Survivor. I feel the greatest moment ever was the dead grandmother lie. And if you go to the Smithsonian, they have the television history part of the Smithsonian, and the clip that they use to encapsulate reality television is the dead grandmother lie. So, you know, the rat and snake isn't what they have in the Smithsonian. You know, I found idols without clues is not in the Smithsonian. You know, talking llama is not in the Smithsonian. All great stuff, all great players. Kudos to all of them. But there's one guy that's in the Smithsonian, and not just for Survivor, but for all of reality television. That is the moment that encapsulates what reality TV is all about. I choose Johnny Fairplay.
Next time on the final episode of the top 100 greatest survivors. 90 survivors down, 10 survivors left. There's only one question on everyone's mind. Who will be number one? The countdown to number one finally comes to an end. The greatest game on television, and these its 10 greatest players. Tune in on Sunday, September 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific for the finale episode. Also, be sure to catch the 3-hour kickoff show from 4:30 to 7:30 Eastern Time, hosted by Adam Jumba, the director of the Top 100. The Survivor specialist, Phil and Alexa, Jonathan Penner, and myself, that will feature over 20 interviews with some of your favorite past survivors, both winners and legends, to preview the final episode. Also, be sure to catch our 1-hour recap special immediately following finale episode, and all of it will be here, live, on The Russell Hantz Show, Sunday, September 13th. Until then, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, comment below to tell us your top 10 greatest survivors, and always stay tuned and keep hope alive.